Okay, and we're back. Again, this is Seth Moore coming again to you on Anchor by Spotify by the way of Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podbean, Apple Music, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, as I think I just mentioned, and so forth. So, anyways, we are back and we are here to continue our Numbers episode. And we're talking about numbers here as well as, some spiritual principles that we all should be aware of to govern our lives, our spiritual lives, more than anything. Because if your spiritual life is governed correctly, your natural life is going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome. And see, I had to come into this understanding over time. I had to. I had to. I really had to because I was around a lot of low vibrational stuff that caused me to behave in certain ways that wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It was not good. It wasn't helping me spiritually. And so I had to remove myself from those areas. I had to remove myself. And once I did that, my whole life changed. My whole life changed. See, because, and don't take this for someone who doesn't operate out of common sense. Don't get it twisted. Please don't. But I had to remove myself from those low vibrational frequencies and people who are operating in a realm of what I just read to you. They're operating out of the seven senses: touch, feel, hear, taste, see, all those things. They're operating out of those seven senses: hearing, touch, sight, taste, smell. And when you talk about intuition and clairvoyance, there may be some that are missing. Okay? See, because when you're living out of a carnal existence, that's all you can espouse to. That's all you see. That's all you see. And so you may have a pseudo religious experience where you think, you're being spiritual, but you're really not. You're really not. And a lot of it is because you don't understand or understand. That's really what it is. It may be because not that you don't want to, you just don't know how to. And so this is why these lessons are important, so that you can learn how to. So you can learn how to. Okay. So here we go. We're going to continue. So we're on 9 now. And as we already know, this 9 number is an essential number in the universe and in our dwelling, in our existing, and so forth. The Ren, the name of an individual, the essential attribute for preservation of a being. The ancients believed that in the absence of a name, individuals cease to exist. Now think about this. This is why, one of the reasons why names were taken from the African when he came to the shores of Northern America, even though there were Africans already here. But for those who came too, they were stripped of their names, because without a name, you don't exist. The quality of a name, therefore, was very important. It's very important. In addition, comedians were also the first to identify the gods of order and arrangement in the universe. This Ennead of ancient Kemet consisted of 9 gods. They are, and we've been over this, Shu, the god of air; Tefnut, the goddess of moisture; Geb, the god of earth; and Nut, the goddess of the sky, universe. These gods gave birth to Osiris, the god of omnipotence and omniscience; Isis, the wife of Osiris, the female principle. And so the Greeks gave a lot of names to the gods of Kemet. Okay? Such as Isis, the wife of Osiris. Okay, the female principle, right? Seth, the god of evil, opposite of good. And Neith, the wife of Seth, and Atum, the creator god of gods. And we talked about the atom before, and how the atom splits, blah blah, and disperses upon the mountain, and so forth and so on. In addition, it needs occasioned no great surprise that a mom carries her baby in her womb for 9 months before delivery, birth, and the fact that today a cat has 9 lives. I don't know if I read some of this to you guys before. Maybe I did. There were also 9 cardinal principles of righteousness, or being right in ancient Kemet. They were as follows: right intentions. Now listen, because we're still talking about numbers here. Right intentions, right thought. And so this is why, again, when you're in the ego mind, you don't have right thoughts. Right speech, what comes out of your mouth. You say things that harm you by things that you say. Don't you know that in the English language, I'll drop some more jewels on you. Don't you know that in the English language that words were used for trickery and spells? I think I may have mentioned this before. Words were used as spells, just like it's not good to say good morning. You know what mourning means? Mourning means to mourn, as if a funeral. So we get up and we say good morning. What's good about mourning? There's nothing good about mourning. Okay? And we say have a great weekend. To say weekend means that you get the weakest part, you get the weakest deal, basically you get the weakest end of the deal. You understand what I'm saying? The weakest end, like weekend, you get the weakest end of the deal. So we say things that we don't even understand. So there was trickery in the language that was given to us. Casting spells. Okay, just like I was listening to, and the word gentleman. how that in the English language, a gentleman was meant to refrain from beating his wife because he was being more gentle by just bashing her across the face with an open hand rather than with a fist. So that's where you get the word gentleman from. He was being gentle by hitting her with an open hand rather than pounding her with a closed fist. Another word, hello. Low hell. Low in hell. So it's words that are used that create our demise because we don't understand that the spells that were cast upon us. So it's not. So is it disrespectful to say hey? You say hey. What does the word hey mean? Because what words do you use, brother? You probably say if I can't say hello, if I can't say this, excuse me. So we have to refrain. So I'm learning how to, because you can forget and do these things and be absent from being in a certain space and say things. And if you're not in a spiritual space, you'll arbitrarily say things that could be detrimental. Okay, so let us move on. And I'm gonna give you guys these again because I'm gonna be verbatim with everything that I'm telling you. If in fact there was something that was missed. So we talked about right speech, right effort, right action, right living, right reality, right understanding, and right wisdom. How many of you are practicing this where you go? These are the 9 cardinal principles of righteousness, or being right in ancient Kemet. Right intentions. Do you have right intentions towards people? Right? Do you have right thoughts towards your brother or your sister? Are you saying the right things to them? When you speak out of your mouth, are you using words to kill people? Are you using words to defame people? Are you using words to assassinate people's character? Do you have the right effort in mind when you're speaking to people? Are your actions right towards people? Are your actions towards people right for living? Right living. Are you living correctly? Are you living on a high vibrational frequency where you love people, you have good intentions, you feel good about your life, you feel good about people, your intentions are to uplift people, to hold people up. You get joy out of seeing people smile. You get joy out of bringing a smile to people's face or making people feel good about themselves. Right reality. Are you in the right spiritual reality? I beg to differ that a lot of us are not. Right understanding. Right understanding. Right understanding. Right wisdom. Under the philosophical and spiritual teachings of the ancient Comedians, they said Egyptians, but you know how I am. I'm going to say the right word. Comedians. Okay, Kemetic mystery system. The number 13 represented transformation. See how they'll take these numbers and things, because we are talking about numbers, and they'll give it an evil connotation or derivative or meaning, and we run with it because we have not done any due diligence to find out through research. Resurrection, rebirth, and a new life. So in the BC era, which you know what that means, Originally, there was nothing negative, scary. Listen to this, y'all. Oh, man. This is powerful. So, and I've said this before, in Kemet, they dealt with disorderly things. It didn't say that you didn't have a societal hierarchy or a societal governance that was set up. A lot of the things that we deal with today, they didn't deal with then. And when they did come upon something that was out of order, they corrected it quickly, because in the society, they didn't play that. So it was corrected vehemently, very quickly. So listen again. It talks about here, it says, as I just read, the number 13 represented transformation, resurrection, rebirth, and a new life. So in the BC era, originally there was nothing negative, scary, shameful, or unlucky about the number 13. Its use has only been bastardized in today's cynical, ignorant world. Belief systems and modus operandi, you already know that. Furthermore, under the ancient Kemetian secret brotherhood, commonly known today as Freemasonry, the number 13 had special meaning and significance with regard to the establishment of complete freedom of worship, governance, social order, and esoteric philosophy. And it was said before to you guys how it is so critical to look at things with a spiritual lens, out of a spiritual lens, because all the things that are being given to you, oftentimes you break it down, you or those who do, to a human form when it has an exoteric, spiritual, what am I trying to say? Obviously, it does have an esoteric, spiritual, spiritual algorithms that are connected to it, and we miss it because we don't get it spiritually. Okay, so it talks about the establishment of complete freedom of worship, governance, social order, and esoteric philosophy. The fact of the matter is that all the early U.S. presidents were Masons steeped in the teachings and philosophy of the ancient Kemetic mystery system. These individuals then transferred all the positive aspects of the number 13 to rule, govern, and protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the United States. See, so they'll take your theology, Kemetic theology, they take our ancestors' science and flip it on us. You see what I mean? And this is how they done with Christianity. They'll take your science, use it for good for them, to prosper and to be on top of the heap, while at the same time they use it in a negative form with you and flip it to keep you in bondage so that you don't inherently enjoy any of the things that you should spiritually. See, because with them, it's not about what you are espousing to do. It's not like that with them. Only the lower tier folks of the power structure espouse to the same things that you do, such as material things, cars, boats, houses, and all this kind of stuff. But the mass majority of those who control, they're concerned with power. They're not concerned with the stuff that you're concerned with. They're concerned with keeping you in check. It ain't about no material stuff with them. It's about power that exceeds. And so this is why they've had to learn the science of your ancestors to keep you in check. And as I just read, these individuals, I will read again, then transferred all the positive aspects of the number 13 to rule, govern, and protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the United States. For who? Not for you. The pursuit of happiness, not for you. Of course, because you're pulling teeth and doing everything that you can to obtain what they call the American dream by hook or crook. When it wasn't that way, they kind of waltzed right into it after they done took everything. You know, they learned what your ancestors knew and took it and flipped it against you. First, when the U.S. Constitution was signed on September 1787, 13 out of the 40 signatories were Freemasons. Second, the independence of United States falls on July 4th. Okay, this is another farce lie. 1776. This date was timed by Masonic founding fathers to coincide with the astrological sign of Cancer, which also ruled ancient Kemet. Now, the 4th of July follows exactly 13 days after the sun enters the sign of Cancer during the summer solstice beginning 21 June and 4th of July. Thus, the United States was founded on ancient Kemetic spiritual principles and belief. In the year 1776, we have 7 plus 6, which makes 13. See, we're talking about numbers here. And we want you to know where the Kemetic mystery systems of your ancestors falls into this, and how we as a nine-ether people of spiritual entities should be in that fears of evolving in the universe where we have this power. Because as of right now, we don't harness the power that has been stolen from us because we have an idiom of people who've extracted that power to use against us. Right or wrong? I would say that's right. And I think you would too. Okay, we're going to read this last portion and we're going to be done, and perhaps we may come back with another segment. Okay? So let us go on. The founding fathers of the United States did not arbitrarily select the 4th of July 1776 as Independence Day. In the tradition of Kemetic spirituality, philosophy, and belief systems in the BC era, the 4th of July 1776, then gave America a new life. Listen, a new life, a rebirth, a transformation and resurrection from its status as a colony of Britain to that of a new sovereign, independent nation state. They took everything from our ancestors and used it. Got our science, got our library books, got everything, and flipped it on us. On the whole, then, Masonic lodges based on the principles, concepts, and belief system of number 13 were introduced in American colonies in 1738. The Boston Masons organized the Boston Tea Party at the Green Dragon Tavern, described by Daniel Webster as the headquarters of the American Revolution. And you know who Daniel Webster is, right? When you open up a dictionary, okay? Paul Revere was a master mason, but don't you know that it was a black man who ran before Paul Revere that said the British are coming? But they're not going to tell you this if you don't do the research. Okay? He was a master mason, as was every general officer in the U.S. Revolutionary Army, starting with Joseph Warren, Grand Master of the Massachusetts Grand Lodge, and the first to die at Bunker Hill, 2000. 2000. More Masons were among the officers of all grades, including George Washington's aide de camp, who fought in this battle of the 56 signatories of the Declaration of Independence. 50 were Masons, including its prime author, Thomas Jefferson. And of course, there were, when you read the history of George Washington, there were black Masons who were teaching them the science. Because when you look at the picture of George Washington and you see the black Moor who has an apron around him, he was teaching George Washington the principles of Kemetic mystery systems. They got these from the Africans. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come back. We're going to stop there for now, and we have much more to share with you because we're still talking about sacred ancient numbers and the principles of Kemetic mystery system. So again, stay with us, and we will see you guys real soon. Remember, again, this is Seth Moore coming to you on this Saturday afternoon here on Anchor by Spotify. Remember to visit us. We are hosting on different other sites where you can find us: Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Apple Music, Podbean, Buzzsprout, and many, many, many more. So until then, we'll see you guys soon. Keep your vibrations high. And remember, you are not the mind, but you are a greater entity that emanates energy to lift other people up and to be a true beacon in this earth. So we'll see you guys again soon. So take care. Okay, bye-bye.